I'm David. I'm here with Michael Berryman.
Me.
I'm at the FRIGHTMARE in the Falls. You're a legend. You're seated with legends. I wanted to talk to you, though, first and foremost about. I know this. I don't want to be tacky about it, but as I was saying to you in the lead up to this, you got into this industry and you're popular for a while because of a unique look you had that nobody else had. But you actually, beyond that, you persevered because you're a hard worker and you're talented. And I think the combination of those two factors, I think makes you a role model. I know I don't use that word lightly, but you can teach a lot of lessons to people about the persevering, about hard work, regardless of your physical situation, regardless of your socioeconomic situation. Right. I just think you're not just a legend, but you're also a role model. So I don't know if that's how that sits with you.
Well, that's a good observation. I'll roll with that. Honestly, I started out in life with a lot of challenges. Mm-hmm. My father went to Hiroshima. He was a Navy surgeon. He was at Ground Zero. Yeah. When he came home, he was radiated. I was born with a lot of birth defects. Went to Children's Hospital, had my cranium reconstructed, dealt with looking different, being teased as a kid, having medical issues, going up through high school and into college. Wanted to be a veterinarian. The ends of my fingers and my knuckles, actually, from birth defects. Bottom line is, I needed to find a way to take care of myself and my family, if there ever was one, and there was. I've been married for 30 years. Bottom line is, what is a role model? Well, to me, a role model is somebody who's, I believe, has taken their life situation into perspective honestly. So I had many professions. I tried to be a butcher, not a baker, candlestick maker, but worked in restaurants and had overheating issues. There's a lot of things I had to deal with. One of the most important things I ever learned was from my grandmother, that taught me compassion, understanding, and self-reliance. And self-reliance sometimes means you have to go with the flow. So I had a lot of various professions that I was working in, but I had to stop doing them because of limitations to my physical body. I can't dissipate heat. Like I said, the dexterity at the ends of my fingers. I studied veterinary science, but I couldn't perform surgery procedures.
Yeah.
And so I go, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, I had a friend whose house burnt down in Washington State. He said, I have insurance money, I have materials, I don't have anybody to help me build it. So I stuck my thumb out at Venice Beach, hitchhiked up to Berkeley, California in 1973. My friend picked me up, we drove up there, and in 6 weeks we had built my friend's house. So I had taken all of my misgivings and shortcomings and worries and put them aside because there was a need. I had a friend who said, come help me. And I go, great. So there was an opportunity. And it was wonderful. We were in our early to mid-20s, healthy, Washington State, clean air, clean living, and we finished the house. I come back to California. I'm in Santa Monica. I'm going to fill out paperwork and homestead in Alaska. I wanted to be. I love veterinary science. So I figured, well, maybe I can work in fish and wildlife and help habitat preservation for apex animals. Well, I met George Powell, who did the movie War of the Worlds. I met him in Venice Beach. He walked in, I had a little gift shop. He said, oh, are you an actor? And he did one of these things. I go, no, I'm not an actor. And he said, well, you have a look. I would like you to be in a movie called Doc Savage. I knew about the books, and I said, yeah, great books. And by the way, I know who you are. You did all these famous movies. He said, just call my office. So George Powell, thank you, George. I always kept my promise. George Powell said, if anybody ever asked you how you got started, you tell them that George Powell discovered you. Well, he did. But you have to understand that I didn't want any more attention brought to myself, especially because of my looks.
Yeah.
I wanted to be my own man and not be, stared at, so to speak. Well, I realized that I can act. I worked 2 days, thought that was it. Going to pack my bags and take my truck, go to Alaska, and I get a phone call from George Powell's casting director, who is casting for a project called One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So I worked for 127 days on Cuckoo's Nest. They hired me because of my looks, and I had a craniectomy. I'm Ellis, no speaking lines. I had lobotomy scars. It all fit. It worked. But I got to work with some of the most talented people in the industry.
Yeah.
Realized maybe this will go somewhere. And the third film was The Hills Have Eyes with my dear friend Wes Craven. So I wound up being on the poster, which gave me notoriety, gave me publicity.
Yeah.
It helped me get to break into the industry. And I never wanted to be an actor, but you know what? Sometimes you have to go with the flow. That which is presented to you, and I believe it is karma paying me back for helping my friend.
Yeah.
And just trusting the universe that perhaps something will come along when it needs to happen. And it's been 35 years, or almost 40 years, and I'm forever grateful.
Well, I guess
so. I guess that makes me a role model.
Well, I think so. We don't have too much more time because the place is going to be falling down right around us. But I wanted to get this in. This is as I said before the interview, a multi-channel universe. There's like every day, like somebody else is streaming shows. Like
right.
Next thing you know, it'll be like I don't know, Home Depot will have their own channel soon.
Right.
But there's a lot of opportunity now where there wasn't for actors, and there's a lot of genre opportunities for people who are fans of horror to like get more horror. So I'm wondering how have opportunities changed, or have you noticed? I mean, they must have noticed a shift in the multiple opportunities you've been receiving.
Yes.
Based on like 20 years ago.
Oh, it's a world of difference. Anyone can have a YouTube channel. You can have your own streaming from your website. The most important thing to me is that there is access to everyone to be able to get their message out there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in the movie. You Can't Stop the Signal, Mel. It's a reference from a movie written by, I can't think of the name right now.
You and I are name challenged, so I don't know. You're looking at me like...
No, my point is everybody has a platform.
Yeah.
So it's like the internet. It's just not for creepy stuff anymore. There's areas for good content. I have a Facebook page. My page is me. It's a headshot of me, slightly greenish, and it's a still shot from a movie called Below Zero. Go to my page and you'll see wonderful, uplifting, inspiring postings, because that's what my life is about, and that's the message I have to share. My point is this. And what this means is the following. Everything that you do, that you put out, will come back 3 times. 3. The important message is the thumb. What you put out, other people respond to, and it multiplies. Make sure you know what your connection is, your inspiration is your thumb. So respect yourself, stay away from people that are negative, and if you watch the news, don't be too dismayed. Know that there were generations before us. Let youth know that you support them. Let them know that you love them. God bless you. Peace out.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so much.